Hi, and thanks for tuning in to our live radio show. Moments of Clarity with Tiffany will begin in just a few moments. Please stay tuned. Kindly take this opportunity to share this show on your platforms because change can only come when we stand together as one, especially when it comes to ending the stigma on mental health.
You are not alone, and help is out there.
Kids have mental health issues, and we also need to learn coping skills.
Let's get started and let the show begin. See you soon.
Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I'm Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today I've been looking forward to this guest for a long time. And she's a wonderful person. I'm a big fan, and she's got a lot of talent, a long story ahead of her before. And when you tune in with Tan Talk Radio, they usually start playing the radio station during mid-sentence. So
More of a Do Show, Liberation Station radio show, Tuesdays 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, theliberationsstation.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network. Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Warner.
Hi, and welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking about all sorts of things, from having twins at age 14 to domestic violence to finding yourself to thriving and coping with mental health and so many things and becoming strong and empowered. And before I formally introduce my guest, I want to say hi to Ed. Hi, Ed.
Hey, happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday. How are you doing today?
Still pollen starting to hit today. You noticed the coating on our cars this morning, so no trees are blooming.
So I'm like struggling with overcoming COVID, but then I'm allergic to that pollen too, so it's kind of a double whammy on me.
Yep, yeah, it hit me pretty good today.
Yeah, so who knows what's what for me. And my guest today has been very, very gracious in my hacking and blowing. Sorry, please forgive me. I've not so. But today, I guess, has been through so much, Ed, and she's got some powerful lyrics and things like that that's going to make you fall off your seat. So grasp onto
Okay.
your chair. Seriously,
You got
hold
it.
onto your chair. And callers are always welcome to call in, and I hope you feel better, Ed. I know allergies can really rock us, so just take care of yourself, okay?
Thanks. I will.
And so we can have callers. Callers can call in at 866-826-1340. Once again, it's 866-826-1340 and join the conversation, the live discussion, and say hi to Ed when you do. And we can also have live chats. And welcome, everyone. Hey, Kiana, welcome. And sharing on Twitter, thank you so much. We're live on Twitter. And hi, thanks for watching. Live on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany, Facebook Live Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, LinkedIn Live at Tiffany Warner, and also about 8 Facebook channels. MOC with Tiffany is one of them, or Tiffany Warner, WERHNER. And there's a LinkedIn user. So happy to be here. How are you, Tiffany? Miss you on Clubhouse. Looking forward to connecting soon. Likewise. And love from India. It's Jason. You know Jason. So great to see you too. So let me formally introduce my guest, and I'm not going to get through the whole thing, but she's been through so much pain in her life, but she's learned that nothing can stop her, and she's proven it. And I'm a big fan. She's got a lot to say, but says it so strength, and she's one of those people that has gone through so many things, but not allowed her to knock it down. And formerly known as Patricia Omadevuae, but AKA Queen T, and we'll just go with that. Queen T, welcome to. I know I'm going to butcher that by accident. Welcome to Moments of Clarity.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I'm so excited to be here.
Likewise. So Queen T, the TEE, and she also goes by Queen Abel, but her stage name is Queen T. And I heard her being interviewed on Clubhouse. I met her on Clubhouse in a Clubhouse room, and where I just automatically became a fan. And some of the things that she said, I said, please say that again. So let's just start with your beginning and how you found your moment of clarity where you are today.
Whew, my beginning.
And your bio is pretty long. Be chatty. You're not going to be taken over. This is how it goes. And if I need to say something, I will.
Okay, so this is not Clubhouse, right? 1 minute.
Right. Nope. You got the hour. It's all yours.
Okay. So my childhood started off pretty rocky. I was in a single parent home with my mother, which suffered from a lot of mental illness. She suffered from bipolar and suicidal thoughts because she also experienced a lot of trauma. So at 5 years old, I experienced homelessness, abuse, experiencing my mom being assaulted by multiple men while having to sit here and protect my younger brother. So right then and there, when I was a kid, I already felt, not protected by my mother. But I knew that my nurturing and my mother came inside of me to nurture my brother. And I was only 5 years old. From that, my grandparents went and, took me because we got into the system. So at 5 years old, I went with my grandparents, which was a pretty rocky situation. It had its ups and downs, but because I come from a mixed background, I was being treated like the stepchild, right? And my grandfather was racist and abusive to me because I was the darkest in my family. So I suffered a lot of abuse, a lot of identity issues. At times I didn't even think I was Black because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my father. I didn't know my background. I didn't know where I came from. So
your mom is African American? Or
no, my mom is white and Puerto Rican.
Okay, so you just didn't know who your father was. So then,
correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I was, since a kid, there was always a piece missing. I'm like, okay, I see this beautiful, brown skin, but where did this come from? Because my mom was lighter, everyone on my mom's side is lighter, green eyes, blue eyes, different type of hair. So it was like always a half of me was missing. And I felt that, as a kid. And as a kid, there's always this culture, this yearning from, wanting to know more about like the African Americans or, the Nigerian culture, the Puerto Rican culture, but I just never knew where that came from.
It's a shame because some of the most gorgeous people are what you say mixed or just
I agree.
Whatever it is. So your grandfather was just wrong.
I agree.
Like Miss America, Vanessa Williams, things like that,
Right.
So you've been through a lot of growing up wondering where you came from, and not only that, but not having a specific role model to look up to.
Correct.
And you said in the bio that your mom was suicidal, had attempted several times to commit suicide.
Correct.
That's traumatizing on its own, and having to watch her be assaulted while having to watch your little brother, you mean sexually as well?
Yeah. Like there was one scene that just kept, like just going into my head because I was trying to make sense of it. Like I was 5 years old, and I was like, this was in Oakland, California, and I remember I was laying on a cot, and I was with my little brother. My little brother was 2 years old, and I seen this man literally forcing himself on my mom, and my mom was crying and screaming, "Get off of me!" So my protectiveness, overcame me, and I yelled, I was like, "Get off my mother!" And he turned around and took an extension cord and started aiming it towards me and my brother. And I remember hovering over my brother so he couldn't get hurt, and him just whacking me with it as I was, shouting at my brother. And in that moment is when I went numb. I went numb from just being able to feel pain and numb from just having that protection of a mother.
Right. And trauma, just as from a childhood and clinical standpoint, can really impact our brain. And just witnessing that is something unimaginable to most people to have to even fathom having to witness the person you love most in the world and trying to protect the other person you love most in the world have to be scared and frightened. And did anything happen to that man? Did he go to jail or anything like that you know of?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think at that time my mom was really, she was scared. She was really scared and she was really ill. And so I know that after that, like a couple weeks after that, that's when I went to my grandparents because I had enough. Like I literally clinged on to my grandmother's legs. I said, "Please save me. Don't leave me here." Like I love my mom, but I know I wasn't safe here anymore. And so my grandma, she, from that day, she took me and my brother in.
And so that was the grandparents' house where the grandfather was racist against you, but
yes.
But you'd rather be there than where you were.
I have rather been there.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that's how bad it was. Is that you'd rather be punished and put down because being the darkest of the grandkids, and it wasn't your fault. And you're beautiful. You're so beautiful. It's so hard to make sense of it for somebody that doesn't think like that and that is looking at you now.
Yeah.
Some people just stuck in their ways or ignorant or just stupid.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I was able to find beauty within my grandfather and understood why he thought that way. Like he's from New York, and he experienced a lot of racism as him being an Italian Puerto Rican guy from a lot of African Americans. So he looked at me as fear, and he also didn't like my father and what he stood for. And so I basically, as a child, was, got the brunt of what he felt towards a lot of African Americans.
Yeah. So it's got to be really rough. And then wondering where your father is, probably dreaming, maybe he could take me out and they take me away from all this too,
Absolutely.
So how did you get over through that? So you went to your grandparents' house?
Yeah, so I went to my grandparents' house, and then it had its ups and downs. It had it was like a middle class type of situation. So I was raised Christian. We had amazing holidays and stuff like that. Which is why you kind of see my joy and why I still have a little light. Because it wasn't always bad. And even as a kid, I try to figure out what's good out of this? What can I get out of this? And not think about that beating, but think about, oh, what did I have for dinner last night? I had food, because at my mom's house, I wouldn't have food. I would eat chip bags or cereal with water. And, so I would just have gratitude for the things I had instead of focusing on the things I didn't. And so my grandmother, she had got sick at the age of 12. And that made it to where I had to go back to my mother's house, which was a frightening experience because I was living in middle class and then had to go into the projects, which I was not, comfortable with since I was 5 years old. And when I went there, I was already attacked by over 50 guys trying to break into the house. Mind you, I was 12 years old. I remember, the abuse started again with my mom beating me, into a pulp and, dragging me from down the stairs, up the stairs, hitting me with broomsticks. Like, it just started like night and day. Basically the CPS was called again. And so
that's Child Protective Services.
Yeah.
And also the Department of Children and Families and that kind of stuff. It's called
correct.
Things, different areas. I'm just clarifying for the listeners.
Okay, no problem. So then I had ended up going with a family relative. And unfortunately, when I went with the relative, I was sexually assaulted by a man, which led it to where I had to go officially into the foster care system. But before I went into the system, they had this place called it's like a transitional home. So me and my brother was there together. And this is another eye opener for me at 12 years old. It was like, I would never forget. It was a dungeon. It had a little kitchen, it had a little cot, and they were trying to find a placement for me and my brother, but they couldn't. And that was my last time seeing my brother as a kid. They tore us apart. Like, I remember screaming and crying, like, please, because I was his protector, and I'm like, how can I protect this? How can I protect him if I'm not with him?
And you were 12 and he was how much? I know younger, but
I was 12, so he was 6.
Much younger.
He was much younger than me, and he was crying. We were fighting and punching. I would never forget that. So that was another part of my heartbreaking. That's the only little guy that I knew that was consistent. Not my mom, not my dad, not my grandparents, but my brother. Everywhere he went, I went. We were like two peas in a pod. And so then that transition from me really being alone, at 12 years old, going on this journey, I went into over 28 foster homes, was sexually assaulted as soon as I went in there.
Foster home can be rough, but not only that he was your constant, your brother, and you were his. And for you guys to be torn apart like that, I mean, that should have never happened. First of all, none of this should have happened. Let me just cover it up. But that would have probably been, out of all of it, the worst part.
That was the worst part. Even
out of everything,
through the sexual stuff, through the pain stuff, that was nothing. But that pain that you can't feel, like it's not going to touch. It's almost as someone is taking your chest, and like pulling it, pulling your chest through.
Yeah, I couldn't see that too. And I mean, it's a sudden loss, and that's trauma. It's almost like sudden death or something of somebody, and to be removed from that constant, the love of your life, basically your soulmate, like your brother that was with you through all of that. There's so many people that I have counseled that would have taken a beating and taken all of that to protect their younger siblings that they love so much, and to be removed, like, so that they weren't separated from them and didn't want to tell or whatever, so that they didn't either endure it or they weren't separated. And you're a wonderful big sister to have to do that, but at the same time, that brings a tear to my eye that you guys were separated. But I'm sure that there's some good in the end, because you said last time you've seen him as a kid. So I'm hearing that maybe you've reunited since then. But we're gonna get to that after the break.
Yeah.
I hope I'm right on that one. I don't know, but we'll see. And there's not even some that. This is so much more to the story with Queen T, and not only that, but some powerful things that she's developed as a result of all this. And we'll be back with it's time for our break, and we'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hello, my name is Lucy Lopes, and I'm a real estate agent that supports ending the stigma on mental health with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I am also passionate about helping you buy or sell your home. With times being so difficult, I'm here to help. Contact me at lucylopes.com. That's LUCYLOPES.com. Let me assist you through this pandemic and know that you are not alone.
If you're a show host, gamer, live streamer, podcast host, or radio show host that would like your message to get out and reach up to 30 platforms, then there's an affordable way to do that. It's called Restream. Restream makes it easy to broadcast professional live videos from your browser to multiple social platforms at once. Start your live show with guests, brand it with logos and overlays, and create an interactive experience for your audience. Learn more at Restream.io and mention Moments of Clarity for special offers.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at mocwithtiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hello, and welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And my guest today goes by Queen T, and that's her stage name, T-E-E. Queen T, and she has just, if you missed the first part of the show, I recommend hitting replay on any platform on Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, because her journey has been unlike anyone else, and to know her today and how she is now, you would have never guessed. Not only that, it's probably why I like her so much. And from even watching her mother be sexually assaulted, going to foster care, being sexually assaulted herself, being beaten and abused and ripped away from her younger brother when they were 12 and 6 years old, and having to persevere all of this and still standing today, not only standing, but surviving and thriving. And welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany, Queen T.
Thank you for having me, Tiffany.
That comes from the heart. It does.
Definitely. Like everything I say really comes, from my heart. And I think that's the reason why, that's how I operate. It has to be authentic.
Well, you too, but I was saying how I just been really nice, like someone that you need to replay and listen to your story, and I adore her so much. I was saying that from my heart, but yeah, it's like sometimes I just reintroduce the guest by their bio, but I was saying mine from the heart.
I love you, Tiffany. You're amazing.
Likewise. So you were taken from your brother. And pretty soon, I want to get into some of these empowering lyrics that really touch home too, because it's not. I mean, with what Queen is doing is she it makes sense now of how she's and why and where it all comes from, because she's written some poetry that I swear is going to be some famous lyrics and some songs and movies and everything, because it is from experience, and sometimes some of the best songs are from experience and everything. So we're going to hear some of that too. And I love it. Since the first time I heard her, I'm like, do it again. Don't hear that again. I want to welcome callers to call in 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340. And we also welcome chats and the live stream. You've got a lot of support and love here from India, from Facebook, from England, from all over the world, Queen. And hello to everyone that's listening and supporting the show. I just want Queen to go on because I know that before we give some love from the audience to I want your story to be heard.
Yeah, no
But 866-826-1340 if you'd like to give some feedback, contribute to the conversation, support anything that you can tell her she's not alone. Welcome to call in and say hi to Ed.
Hi, Ed.
The callers when they call in.
Oh, okay. Well, hi, Ed.
Oh, that too. Hi, Ed. That's funny, Queen. Okay,
hey, Jason,
go on.
I see you. I love you, Jason. Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of friends and support in here. So, where would you like to pick up? And you have not let me ring my bell once, and I want to say, for everything you just said and for who you are today, you're getting my bell for just. So you got separated from your brother, and then.
Tiff, I just want to take this moment just to say how amazing you are, because you are now, you're sick, you're not feeling well, and you are still giving love. So I love you. Thank you. You got this.
Thank you I'm just not feeling my best, but thank you. Look, I didn't want to cancel today.
Right. But yeah.
I was looking forward to this.
Yeah. Same here. Like I had put it in my notes. I was like, okay, what time do I need to come? But just going back, about my brother, it just made me realize how I didn't have a childhood. I never knew how it felt to be a child. I never knew, how it felt to just get up and to be able to play and feel protected and, like, oh, it's Christmas or, oh, it's this. Every day was a struggle or a new lesson for me. And all I know how to do is nurture, because I was a mother at basically 5, nurturing my brother, protecting him, feeding him, all those senses, kicked in. And so a lot of times, like when I see what's going on in the world and I see some people out there just so selfish, I'm like, how can you be? Because I give myself, I would give myself to a homeless man walking down the street that needs, food, or I would give myself to a woman that's crying or getting beat up and wouldn't care about, what would happen to me, because I just want to protect.
Because you're empathetic because of what you've been through.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people like ourselves, like I've been through a lot in childhood too. Not as like the same as you, but just trauma. Losing my parents when I was young and that kind of thing. But when people aren't sheltered and they're in survival mode most of their lives, they're very empathetic because we know what it's like to be in certain situations.
Right.
But when I say I'm not comparing my story to yours at all.
No, I understand.
Just saying that not everyone has their story, but not everyone's as rough. It's how we handle it later on that defines our character, is what I think.
Absolutely.
So, so then you're the mother of twins at age 14.
Whew, yeah. So that was another milestone in my life.
Not only did you get pregnant at age 14, but you had to drop 2 eggs. So, man, you're giving one hell of a hand.
It's funny because my foster mom at the time, she looked at me. I will never forget. We were at the ultrasound, and they were like, "Wait a minute, you have twins?" And I was like, "What?" And I'm so young. I was like, "What is that? Twins?" I'm like, "What is?" And she started crying. But remember when I told you I went numb? When I was 5, I didn't have no feeling. I was just numb. I was like, I wasn't excited. I wasn't scared. I wasn't happy. I was just there. And everyone else around me was like going crazy while I was just, there in that moment. And I didn't know what to do or how to think of it. I just knew that those are my cards. And, I had to take every day by day.
Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, you had twins. What happened with them?
Okay,
Are you still the mother of twins? Like,
okay, so I'll tell you the background of, so basically, when I had gotten into the foster care system, my first foster mom that I went into, she had like 7 foster kids in the home. She had a beautiful home, beautiful mansion. This was the catch. She would make all the girls under the age of 18 leave the house. We didn't have no money. We didn't have no food. We didn't have nowhere to go. Mind you, we were, moved from city to city to city where we didn't even have family.
wait. Okay, so this beautiful house, mansion, and everything, and then she would kick you out of the house?
She would kick us out the house. So we'll have
collect the check?
Yeah, and collect a check. Like, it was like, like gorgeous. Like, you could, like, the social workers would come in. Oh my gosh, you guys should be lucky. I'm like, be lucky? We can't even live in it. Like,
wow.
And that's it.
Nobody told on them? Like,
we would try, but there was not enough people that would want to take teenage girls. So that's the problem. Unless there was like proof and whatever, they would keep going. Because she was also, retired nurse, and like they're like, oh, she doesn't need this money. So yeah. But basically, I was the youngest there, and there was a 17-year-old girl, 16-year-old, 15-year-old, and we would just roam the streets, try to find places to go. This is how we got, into a lot of trouble. But we were like in this place where they had a pool, and that's where I met my kid's father. He was 18, I was 12. And I remember going to his house, and I felt safe in his house, right? At the time, I was still, not into sex. Not, of course, I was just a child. But I went there because he had a mother and a dad and all this stuff that I could have dreamed of. And they took me in, and they like treated me as I thought, as their kid. And then he started having sex with me, and I can't even tell you, like, I felt violated. I didn't even understand the feeling, the connection. I was very uncomfortable. I would like be like, please let this be over. Like, please let this, have him get off of me. And then go into the room, spend time with his mom, spend time with his dad or whatever. But I would have sex with him because I wanted that family unity. I wanted that connection. And then out of that, I had twins. But that is the first man that put his hands on me. That is the first man that I experienced abuse. When there's times that I didn't want to have sex, or there's times I didn't want to be with him. I remember him smothering me with a pillow. Just being very suicidal when I wanted to leave him, like just going through a lot of trauma. And so then, I gave birth at 14. I ended up getting kicked out of the home I was in because they didn't house teenage mothers. The irony in that, you kick us out as soon as I have kids. I'm damaged goods. So then I moved to Richmond, California, which they had a high school that had a daycare in it, surprisingly, like a whole high school with a daycare. Wow. So I tried to raise my kids for 2 years by myself. But when I looked at my kids, I was like, they deserve so much more. Like, I went from home to home and literally like took my kids with me. And I'm like, what can I give my children? I can't protect them. I can't take care of them. I can't even work. I'm too young to work. And I remember, like, I would go to sleep and my arms would hurt. Like, my son would be in this arm, my daughter would be this arm, and I would not, like, I probably wouldn't even sleep that much. I would wake up with pains all through my arm. That's how close I was with my babies. So one day I called their grandparents and I said, do you know what? I want my kids to have a better life, because his family was very wealthy. And so she said, you know what? I'll take the kids, but you can never see them again. And that was another pivot in my life where it felt like someone took my heart and just twisted it and tore it, because I'm like, I can't see these children that I gave birth to, but I did it. I said, okay.
It was the grandparents?
Mm-hmm. It was the grandparents of the dad.
Yeah.
And so, but the funny thing, or not so funny thing about that, is she didn't tell that to the father. She didn't tell that to my kids as they grew. She made it seem like I left, like I left the family. I didn't want them, and because she couldn't have kids anymore. So she raised them as they were her own children.
Do they still not know you today?
No, they know me. So now, a few years ago, before all this COVID stuff, I was going to go see them every summer. My daughter has questions. Oh my gosh, she looks just like me. She's an artist, a writer. She is so smart, so beautiful. And my son, he's the rebellious one, which also reminds me of me. He's into arts, rapping, and so much stuff. But we're building our connection. It's kind of hard because it's like, who do they believe? Do I believe the mom that supposedly walked out on me? Or do I believe my grandparents has been there from day one?
Right. I think that it's time, but if you do the math and know how hard it is to have a child even in your late 20s and 30s or whatever, if you do the math and they're like probably like you're only 14 years older than me, like it kind of makes sense.
Oh, trust me. They look at me like I am one of them, okay?
Yeah. Well, you probably look like one of them. Like,
I do. They might look taller than me, okay?
There you go. Like, I mean, but where you are today is amazing. And we're getting close to our next break. I would love for you to read some of your poetry for us the way you do, or should we take our break and then let's hear your poetry when we get back?
Okay.
Kind of like a cliffhanger because it's in the second break. You guys got to stick around for this because it's amazing and it really hits home, especially after you hear her story. So let's go to our second break, Ed, and we'll be back with Moments of Clarity, Tiffany, in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you are like most people, you worry with the financial challenges you face today. How do you protect your family from financial ruin? How will you reduce your liabilities and get out of debt sooner? And how can you deal effectively with the constant changes in your job, your career, and your business? Overcoming your financial challenges is like building a house. You must build from the ground up. You must learn how to make more money, save more money, grow your money, and protect your money. Forever Forward Financial specializes in teaching you these 4 basic money skills so you can achieve your dreams and end your worry. Call us today and schedule your complimentary no-obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. Call Scott Bigley at 727-422-7761.
Are you having trouble staying sober after you've completed rehab and need a positive environment to help you continue sobriety? At Real Recovery Sober Living, we strive in both community and environment for men in early sobriety to help support you while in early recovery. For only $750 a month, we cover everything you need when it comes to a safe, clean, and accountable environment necessary for success in sobriety. Check out our website at realrecoveryfl.com. That's realrecoveryfl.com. We have 6 locations in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Brandon, North Tampa, and Bradenton, because everyone deserves a quality, sober living.
Hi, this is your host, Tiffany Warner from Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I want to thank you for all your support on ending the stigma on mental health for over the past 7 years and with over 600 episodes, as well as several award nominations and placing as a finalist in 3 categories on the People's Choice Podcast Award last year. If you're listening to this on audio, please visit and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Moments of Clarity with Tiffany and enjoy viewing previous shows in case you missed any live. If you're interested in advertising and would like to promote your company, it is affordable and an effective way to get your company the attention it deserves. I also welcome potential guests as well, and all information can be found on my website at mocwithtiffany.com. Thank you again for your continued support, as change can only come when we stand together as one.
Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. I'd like to give a shout out to musician-songwriter Don Lawson, who wrote, produced, and performed all the vocals and instruments on my Moments of Clarity theme song. Don gained his inspiration as a mental health counselor himself. He's always looking for artists to record his songs, and you can hear more of Don's music at reverbnation.com/Don Lawson. You can also check him out on Twitter at Don Lawson Music. Thank you so much, Don, for your contribution to Moments of Clarity and ending the stigma on mental health. It's awesome.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hello and welcome back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and your host. And today we've heard such a powerful journey from a beautiful woman that has endured and overcome and survived so much and is still standing and thriving and doing her thing. And welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Queen T.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing from our messages. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much.
I could actually see you. I can see the like you on the side when you read
it. You see me.
I can see you. You can't. I guess you can't see me, but yeah, I have to be able to see everything to make sure that you're sitting there and that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back to Moments of Clarity. If you haven't heard the whole story from the beginning, I encourage you to hit replay on any of the social media outlets, Facebook or YouTube at Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. Subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a little logo, I think, on the bottom right. Just click it and hit subscribe. As well as Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and LinkedIn Tiffany Warner and Facebook MOC with Tiffany and Apple or Spotify or, all of them. Just hit replay. Anyway, let's hear this. All right, so Queen does poetry and some lyrics and things like that, and she came up with it. I don't know what I'm saying. She wrote this poem called Surviving, if you call it a poem or whatever. And when I first heard her say it, it's so powerful, it brought a tear to my eye, but I also feel like it should have some beat behind it or something. If we could have even made that happen ahead of time, that would have been fun. But I would love for you to read it if you would.
Yes. You want to do the beats? Go. No, I'm just playing.
No, I'm not gonna mess with it. The way you do it, do you want to be on full screen or how do you feel comfortable?
I can read it out. This is my first time doing it visually. So
yeah, you do your thing. I'll let you do it.
Surviving. I am breathing. Does that make me alive? I can see things a bit hazy. I'm packing my bags, yet it's still empty. Surviving. Is that still an option for me? It's cold, but I still have a pulse. I glare at my reflection I no longer recognize. My voice is cracked and a bit dry. I'm drinking water, yet I still feel thirsty. Well, maybe I'm surviving me. Surviving pain that I don't want to feel. Going on the media to heal. I put on my mask to cover my wounds, to adjust my tone, embracing this image, running away from my reflection I no longer want to feel. Surviving me is not a battle I want to have. I get on my knees and I pray. Warm tears stream down my face. I ask God, please take this pain from me. Pain overfilling me. Spirit of protection covers me. Surviving is no longer my burden. Survived is my story. God is my protector. Survived is me.
That was what you do again. We don't have much of that. Yay! Oh, I can tell that there's a lot of people clapping for you out there, surviving. And you can follow Queen T. She goes by Princess Igu in Facebook and YouTube, Queen Able. It's Queen Able, Queen Able, all one word. And Instagram. We got to get you like the same handle for all the things so you can just say this.
I know, right?
Patty _ I did 6 O's. Maybe that might help things along if we just said Queen T at queent.com or something.
You can tell the journey, right? I was once a princess, then Patty, and now
I think they let you do it. We'll talk about it after the show, but wow, powerful lyrics. And you have other things going on that has led to what to do with these things, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So,
okay. Yeah. So I am your affirmations queen. So basically, I make personal affirmations for people. So whoever is going through trauma, domestic violence, it doesn't even have to be that traumatizing. Maybe you want a new job, or maybe you're having some identity, issues. I can help personalize within 30 minutes or less your affirmations. I do coaching as well. I have a book called Queenable coming out, which Queenable will be trademarked by me.
Yeah. So, And you'll be back on the show when that book comes out because we were going to promote that too.
Absolutely.
But positive affirmations to change everything, coming from where she's come from, which what she's endured, and now she's coaching positive affirmations. Do you see why I love this lady so much? Like, not playing the victim, not doing any of that, but now she's coaching people how to be empowered and to believe in themselves and to overcome any negative self-talk, any what ifs or shouldas or can'ts, anything like that. She's doing it. And not many people that have been through what you've been through would be doing that. I am speechless without the bell. I don't know. The bell for that. I mean, seriously. Let's see what some people in the audience are saying. Let's get some love out there. I did. Kiana says nature's divine healing on demand by Kiana Del Reyes from YouTube. Thank you. Oh, she's sharing from Twitter. I think we read these already. I don't know who the LinkedIn user is. We actually have a caller. Let's see how much time we have. We have a caller, Kiana. Well, caller Kiana. Kiana, hi. Welcome to Moments of Clarity. Thanks for calling in. And I think you're a first-time caller, so you get a bell for that.
Yay! Can y'all hear me?
Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. Thanks for being here.
Yes, I wanted to give Queen T her flowers just for everything that she has been through and has been able to turn into a beautiful story. But I wanted to ask Queen T a question.
Go ahead.
My question for Queen T is, can you tell us more about what your healing process looked like and overcoming all of the things that you went through?
Absolutely. Whew. So the healing process was me looking at myself in the mirror, me accepting the things that happened to me, me not taking the victim role, but saying, hey, how can I turn this bad experience into a lesson? How can I turn it into words? So even at 12 years old, I start writing in my diary. I went through finding my purpose. I had to find my purpose, and instead of hurting people, I was like, how can I give to people? Because I know how it feels to not have a mom. I know how it feels to not have a dad. I know how it feels to be made fun of. And so I wanted to make a difference in this world. So if I seen someone falling on the floor, I'll pick them back up. If I seen someone being made fun of, I'll pick them back up. And I just gave love because that's something I never had. So healing for me was allowing myself to cry, going to therapy, doing my sound bowls, going through a whole spiritual journey. I went and I converted to Islam. I went and I converted to, all type of religions that you can think of. And just to find out, who am I? Where do I belong? And I feel like finding out who you are, finding out your purpose, finding out where you belong, nothing can stop you when you realize your worth. And that's the reason why I created Queenable. Because it doesn't matter what you've been through, right? It matters how you overcame it and who you are today. And so that's how I overcame. Is just looking at myself in the mirror, and someone said I was ugly, I'm like, I'm beautiful. If someone made fun of my lips are beautiful. And I just
people pay to get your lips, girl. They do. People put injections in their mouths like nowadays to get them to look like you. Just saying. But keep going. Sorry. I just thought it was funny.
No.
What a great answer is to fight away whatever. Lions don't care about the opinions of sheep.
Right.
And you're a lion. And people can be sheep. And if you just surpass what other people think and believe in ourselves, believe in yourself, we can accomplish anything.
Right. And I don't want to sit here and act like everything was perfect or like I didn't want to give up. There was plenty of times where I wanted to give up. There was plenty of times where I was like, I don't want to go to school. I can't go to school. I'm too stupid to go to school, or I'm this or I'm that. So it took a lot. It took a lot of self-love. It took a lot of affirmations, which is why I promote affirmations to really, be this way today. There's I can rarely get upset right now because of how much love I have in me. I can, there's so much, it's beautiful. Once you cross over and into that self-love and really knowing who you are, it's beautiful. And I welcome anybody else to join.
I can tell you this, Queen T, that never once did you give off the vibe that you have it all together and that this didn't all affect you. Like, life is beautiful, perfect, that you don't have any struggles and everybody does. Like, never once, no. You're just surviving, and like your poetry and everything just said, it's just taking one day at a time, it seems like, and just getting up out of bed and just facing the day and facing everything because you've survived 100% of the time the worst days of your life. 100% of the time, the worst possible day of your life, you've survived it, and it'll never happen exactly the way it did again.
Right.
Like, you're still standing, 100%.
Right. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, did that answer your question?
Yeah. So what I heard from you was a lot of mindset shifting, a lot of mental health support, and even just finding your existential purpose and being able to express yourself spiritually really helped you to heal. But, I'm curious, did you have any physical manifestations of this particular stress, trauma, this happening? Did you deal with any type of sickness, any type of mental illness, any type of addiction during any of these traumas?
Yes. One addiction that I had was food. Like when I was upset or when I was hurt, I would gravitate towards food. I know this might be a shock to you guys, but I was 300 pounds at one point in time.
For the audio listeners on the radio, she's a petite little thing. So yeah, it would be a shock.
And I also was diagnosed with severe depression and PTSD as well. So there was a lot of things. Another addiction was people. I had an addiction to being in relationships. I did not want to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
So
that comes from severe trauma from childhood, and that's another show. Kiana, thank you so much for calling in. We're hitting our 5-minute mark, so it's time for me to wrap up the show. But thanks for the wonderful questions. I hope that they were answered, and for supporting the show and for calling in. And have a wonderful day.
Thank you, guys, and nice. Good job, Queen T and Tiffany.
Thank you. Thanks, and thanks for calling in. It's got a lot of love on the chats here too. I don't even know if the time goes by really fast, especially when it's a guest.
I was like, I'm like, wait a minute, this hour went by so fast.
There's been times where I'm looking at the clock and I can't wait for a break, but today was not one of them.
I'm glad.
Just being real, Anyway, but today was not one of those days, and so where can we find you to see some more of your lyrics? Because I know that you have a website that I've witnessed. My
YouTube, and I think you said it before.
I think that's what it was. It's YouTube, Queen Able. That's what I saw. And you have more lyrics and more things I'd like you to add more to.
Oh, I will. I'm sorry. I know.
I think that's where I saw it when I was looking at all the links. So go to her YouTube. Please subscribe to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany as well. But then while you're there, go to Queen Able. It's all one word, but the A is a capital. Queen Able. And see some more of her stuff and see how beautiful she is inside and out. And thank you so much, Queen. And to reach out to her, she's got a Facebook, Princess Ego. And then also Instagram, @_O's. We're gonna get a handle on that, okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, Queen. And it's time to wrap up the show. We're on every Thursday and Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and always ending the stigma of mental health with exceptional, inspirational stories from exceptional guests. And everyone, thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Please be safe and well, and be kind to yourself and to a stranger, because you never know what they're going through. And thanks, Ed. Have a wonderful weekend. I hope you feel better. And guys, thanks for everything. See you guys next week.
Now it's clear. Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity.